So that's going live. And I got to go here. Make that go live. And then back over here. And we should be live everywhere. So welcome in. Josh and Brandy Helm here with Texas Best Construction. And we're going to be talking about Barndominiums here again tonight. So that's what's going on. For you guys that are just joining the chat, if you could go ahead and hit the hearts, hit the likes, all the shares. Let's get them over to the platform so that we can get everybody in. And we're going to be talking a little bit tonight about, what are we talking about?
How we got started?
How we got started building Barndominiums, which some of you guys probably already know that information.
But a lot of people probably don't.
Are you live?
I'm trying to be. Not seeing it.
It's not on here? Oh, you lost it. Go back to the channel, please.
It was just on my newsfeed.
Let me make sure I'm live again. It says live.
It says it right there. Oh, there we are. Okay.
There we go. We're back. Did it go off? What's up? What's up?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. All right. So thanks for joining in. Appreciate it, Mr. Be Happy. Okay. More likes can attract viewers. Keep it up. So more likes can attract viewers. That's what the apps are telling me here.
We need you to like us.
What are we doing? Okay. Anyhow, it's been a long day, and we just, rather than wait until a little bit later, we thought we'll go ahead and jump on here, get our chat going. Welcome in. Thanks for the comments. Thanks, Brenda. Thanks, Brandon. I've been out and about today doing a variety of things. Actually, I went to a site meeting this morning with some new clients. I went to go check on a job for our urban barn house in Joshua, Texas. So I was out there. I thought it was going to rain on us. It got really
wanted to.
It got really nasty there for a little bit. Then I went to from there to the title company.
Signed some papers.
And we signed a new project for Corsicana, Texas. So
I haven't been there in a minute.
yeah, we got these new jobs still coming in, and
if the rain would hold off, we could.
I need to be. So we're kind of waiting on letting today happen, let another day for dry weather, and I'm hoping to get back to building some pad sites. So that's kind of what we've been up to. Anyhow, so on to our topic here. We're going to go ahead and kind of share with you guys a little bit of insight information about us, so you can follow along.
How far back are we going? Like
how we got started? Like, well, when I was born. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going that far. Nobody cares about all that. And maybe you guys don't even care about knowing how we got started. You know, I don't know.
But I mean,
but it's really not about that. It's really not about what we care about. It's not about what you care about. It's about what topic we put in the title on this video. So we've got to talk about it at this point. And we are going to answer some questions once we get done. So we're going to move pretty quickly if we can.
Okay.
If we stay on topic, hang in there, and we'll get to your questions here in a minute. I was told that there's a way you can put questions in somewhere, and maybe that's on Instagram. I'm not sure. My voice is a little.
You've been talking all day.
Yeah, I've been talking all day. Well, here we go.
Okay.
Welcome back to the channel. So how we got started, how did this whole thing get started? Building Barndominiums. I mean, I don't even know really where to begin. You know, of course, you carry a lot of cultivated experience from the beginning. stuff that you carry over. It's preparing you for these steps, blah, blah, blah. But I guess essentially where it started for us is when we built this structure. And how did that all begin? Can you tell that story?
Well, it was kind of out of necessity. I don't know how personal you want me to go, but
well, not that personal.
well, I'm an only child, so
that's too much.
That's too much.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
You're the middle child, so that probably explains a lot.
Hurry up.
Okay, sorry. So there was a need. My parents were going to be downsizing, and they were wanting to build something. And being that I'm the only child, like if anything ever happened to them, you know, like leaving an inheritance kind of thing to me. Anyhow, long story short, they decided they wanted to build something on our property. We had 10 acres, but we had multiple things that we kind of needed. Like I wanted a craft room, and we needed some storage space, and we needed some different things. So we decided we were going to build this metal building. They were going to live in part of it. And then Josh created this huge monstrosity of a building that it was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's really tall. And I was like, well, why are we, is there enough room for an upstairs? And he's like, well, yeah, there is. So
I can tell already that we have different memories, but
okay. Well, this is my version.
Go ahead.
So he's like, yeah, there's enough room up there. So we ended up, building the living quarters downstairs for them. And then we added basically a second story that is accessible from the shop area. It's kind of got its own entrance to the upstairs. And that's where we put, it started out as my craft room. And then we did an office for Josh. And just to make it multifunctional, we went ahead and put a full bath in there and like a kitchenette. It's got its own, like a kind of a Jack and Jill closet that you can use from either side, and lots of storage space. So that's kind of how it started. And then we just keep adding on.
That's how we built a Barndominium.
Yeah, that's how we built it.
But that's not how we got started building Barndominium.
Well, it's because we built one for ourselves that we learned a lot. And Josh did some really cool siding on the front.
I'll pick it up from here.
People started asking us about it.
I knew where we were headed with this about Christmas closets and craft rooms.
I didn't even talk about my Christmas closet.
I'm just teasing.
I need to know what ladies. Where do you put your Christmas stuff? Why not? You brought it up.
It's not time for that. So here's the deal. So after we did build this Barndominium, it was out of necessity because we had a need. We were trying to meet the need. What we ended up doing is we were doing other types of work. And because we built this Barndominium, we had people that did stop by. They started.
See?
Here we go.
Told you.
So we had people that did stop by and we're like, hey, could you build us a building like that? And so that's kind of where initially some of that started. Also, we were taking calls and people would call and say, what kind of work do you do? And secretaries, stuff like that we had at the time would tell people, well, we build homes as well as the remodeling side. And so the word started getting out. And then the social media stuff where it became apparent that we needed to document, take some pictures, start doing some videos.
Like a virtual scrapbook or something is what it kind of started out as, because we were just taking pictures, not even videos.
I guess, yeah, that's pretty much it. And now the rest of the story is this, because as we started documenting the process for us to build Barndominiums, obviously more people came on board. So the real thing you need to know is that there was a great demand for this. There was a great interest. People wanted it. And I'm talking in terms of just in the last 6 years or so is when a lot of this demand really started picking up. Even if you look at the trend lines, you can see this trajectory of when all this started. So, it really tells the story. as well as when we got started, because now we built this Barndominium, started it probably in like 2015. So it's been a little while, but we didn't really heavily started building Barndominiums until probably the 2018, 19, somewhere in that range, where we heavily got busy doing it. And then from there, the social media, like in 2019, we started documenting more and showcasing our Barndominiums, doing tour videos. So these are a lot of the reasons why you're seeing us today. And we have a pretty large following is on YouTube, as well as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these other socials, where we're constantly trying to promote best build practices, promote ideas for the Barndominium, and in all of these social realms that we can. And at least that's what I've been busy doing. And we actually build homes too. That's primarily what we are. We're a builder first. We were a contractor before we were social media influencers and all this other stuff. So if that's what you want to call us, but definitely construction. There's a great bit of history involved leading up to that point. I was, this wasn't our first career. This wasn't our first thing that we were doing.
No.
I've done everything from being an insurance roof salesman to a worship leader at a church, at a couple different churches, and a musician.
I was a church secretary.
She was the church secretary. So, what else? A lot of scandals involved, I guess, in our past like that. No, nothing like that. No scandals, guys. No scandals here. From there, we came from roofing business pretty much. I started doing a lot of diversified types of work. And I was doing commercial roofing. I was doing stucco, EIFS, exteriors.
I was a secretary still.
Yeah.
He drove me around.
I was creating work for her to keep track of the books. And that's really what her job was all along. But there was a season where she was making kids most of the time and busy doing that because.
Yeah, I got really good at that.
Yeah. Yeah. We had 4 kids in about a how many year period?
10
years.
9, 10 years.
10 years or so we were having 4 kids, which was a busy season for Brandy.
Yes, I quit.
Yeah, so she quit work to do that, which obviously put a lot of strain on me because I had to work a lot of extra hard hours. And
yeah.
No, I mean we're blessed with I feel like our path, the way that we arrived here.
I think it was kind of right place, right time, a little of a niche.
I mean, we've got a great,
situation.
Better story to tell when it comes to hardships and things like that. We're not going to do that tonight. We're not going to tell you all the hardships. Not since we started building Barndominiums, although we've had some hard times as we started building Barndominiums.
Yeah.
Especially in the 21-22 season, very tough season when it came
glad to be on this side of it for sure.
Pricing and all the things that it took to get through that season. Very challenging, very, makes you want to quit type stuff. That's what was going on.
Question your life choices.
Yeah. But, we're thankful. We've always had each other. And we've always been, I think, well grounded in that. We're blessed to have all of our healthy children, and to be involved in our church and to be married going on 24 years. So that's what's going on.
Yeah,
a lot of a few bumps in the road on the way trying to get here, but we're here. So that's the way it goes.
You live and you learn.
So we want to answer some of y'all's questions. Hopefully if y'all have any questions about that, then I guess.
So yeah, you did a cool interview just the other day with like a business spotlight. That was kind of cool. I don't know if you can share that with everybody, but
we could add a link. I'll put a link in the comments.
Yeah.
I don't think I could find that right now, but we did post it on our Facebook page and we put it on the community tab on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But I did do a business spotlight deal. It's not a huge deal, but it was something that's kind of cool. They wanted to do a little interview with me and talk about some of that. Hey, Denise, welcome in.
Hey.
So
can I tell her something real quick?
Sure.
Hey, Denise, I was going to tell you my niece in Iowa asked to draw a picture of your house. So she's doing it for a school project. And so she's doing like a sketch and then she was going to do like a watercolor on it. So I'm excited to see how she does it and how it looks.
The Italy Barndominium coming up.
Super cool.
We got our first artist rendering coming soon.
I'll frame it and hang it or something. Anyway, sorry. It's a little off topic, but
pretty cool.
She picked yours out of all of them, I guess.
Yeah, that was her choice. So you know that's popular with the kiddos. Okay, so we're back. We got all the real followers in here on TikTok now.
Yeah, the people following us in Vegas, huh?
It's
that's what that guy said. He saw us.
Yeah. Appreciate
Probably
it.
at the mall. I think that might be who that is.
Oh, thanks, Ricky. Appreciate it.
If he's still on there.
I think I gave him a hat. See if you guys spot me sometimes out in public. I'll try to give you a hat if I have one. I got to remember to carry them, but.
Do you want to start with questions or do you want to?
Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
So I have one on Instagram.
Hold on. I got one here. Oh, go ahead.
They just ask about doing blower door tests on builds. We don't do them on every one, but we have done a couple just to check.
The last one we did was the North Lake Barndominium. We had ACH score of 1.03 on the ACH for a blower door test, which I think the code is like anywhere, I think 4 or 5. So we felt pretty good about it when we got the scores back on that. So hopefully that helps you understand on that end when it comes to blower door tests.
I've got somebody asking, which we can just kind of address.
Now, I will say this about performance. This is something that we absolutely are really going to start focusing in on. So we are wanting to do a lot more testing when it comes to our performance on the Barndominiums. So you guys be looking for that.
All right. I've got another question on Instagram asking how far we travel.
Let me say this because I have people say they need a hat. If you want a hat and you can't find me roaming around somewhere, you can order. Are you going to
give your location and let people find you?
No.
Like that guy that does with the watches?
Yeah, I'll be sitting in a park somewhere and say,
sitting on a skid steer. You're like, can you find me in the middle of a field?
Can you find That would be pretty obvious if I was anywhere notably. I mean, somewhere you could find. But if you do need a hat, check it out. You could actually find now our hats on our plan store at bestbarndoplans.com or our linktree.com/Texas Best Construction. So we got merch everywhere, though. We've got it on the link on the TikTok. We've got merch on there. We got a store right here on TikTok. We got a shop on Instagram. We got one on Facebook. We got them on Linktree and everywhere. Everywhere.
It's all the same stuff, just different locations.
So you guys got to
buy it all up so we can design some more.
We can make more.
As far as where we travel, because you got somebody asking there and here. Just to kind of give you an idea.
Currently where we travel is within 100-mile radius of Red Oak, Texas. Sometimes a little bit more.
For a shell option.
For shell only. For a turnkey, it's around 60 miles. Sometimes a little bit more. Hopefully a lot less. So that's the idea
The
behind
closer, the better.
the turnkeys. What it is, guys, is obviously you're like doubling up, sometimes more than doubling up your time on a job when it comes to doing a turnkey. And also there's a lot more traveling involved for your trades and all the other people that are coming out. So this was something that we decided we really hated to pull in our reins anyways when we did, but we pulled them into 60 miles for our builds. Well, then we started offering the shell onlys, which allowed us to go back to that 100 miles. And, you know, if we really get in a good mode of production and getting those going more than ever, then we feel like that might be an option that we could extend our reach a little bit, even though, you know, it is kind of hard to imagine. So, yeah. But right now it's 100 miles from Red Oak, Texas, which we're about 20 miles south of Dallas. So if that tells you anything. And right off 35, that's where it is. Red Oak is right between Lancaster, Texas, and Waxahachie. You know, where everybody came for the eclipse, right here.
Yeah, Ennis is close to us.
But you know what? I just walked outside and we got some of the best footage, I feel like, anywhere.
Oh, you're talking about then, not just now. Okay.
For the eclipse?
Yeah. That was a really cool experience.
No, not tonight. There's not an eclipse tonight. You guys stay here, stay inside. And don't look at the sun wearing your glasses wrong like somebody over here.
I was trying to get a good picture.
You guys, did y'all see that clip on Instagram? Like of her? She's like
trying to get people to
no, don't pull off.
Mad at me?
Greg, we would consider it for a shell only. So just you gotta get your plans ready and all that stuff, and we can help you on that. If you guys, you know, a couple announcements, some things that are different is we have over 50 plans. I don't even know how many now. I know Sydney's been working on it. Over 50 plans on bestbarndoplans.com, and it's growing. How do we have so many plans?
Because we built that many houses.
No, we've built more than that. But, you know,
they're all the ones that are on there are ones that we built, right? I know most of them are.
There's a lot of them on there. Aren't? Yeah, there's a lot of them on there.
Because so you can get a virtual tour.
And so what we're able to do is to work with our draftsman to make these available for you guys. So yeah,
he does.
We're able to do this, and we're able to make revisions if you need or you want to. These are some variances we're doing on there. But if you do too many major changes, it's obviously going to
might be cheaper to start over.
Yeah, it might be. So we can come to Ben Wheeler. We're in Tyler right now. We're in Van, Texas.
But not Lampasas. That's going to be too far, I know. We'll take talk over there. There's Lampasas.
Yeah, sorry, Jasmine. I don't know where's Lampasas. Isn't that like 200 miles plus?
Yeah, it's not. Colby on Instagram says, I'm slowly starting the same type of business, building shops and barndos. Y'all give me hope. Times have been hard, but I keep pushing.
Thank you, Colby. Appreciate that. Good luck to you as well. You know, all I can say about that is like, you know, like for me, when we started really developing our Barndominium business, and this is something we were doing, we wanted to chart out a good plan when it came to our wall systems, flashing details, and our overall package when it came to our standard finishes. So these are things like it's not too bad to do, but obviously once you get going at it, you can really get a good plan for budget, and you know what things cost as well once you're doing it more routinely. And this is what we did. It's like, well, if we were going to build, and it's kind of the way we built here for the most part, but like what kind of things would we want to be included where we feel like we're kind of focused in on is obviously our energy efficiency, our strength, our durability, the low maintenance side. We're trying to put the efforts there when it comes to a 2x6 studded wall, having more insulation. You know, these are some of the things that we're kind of focused on.
Right.
build science for air tightness around the exterior perimeters. And a lot of people like just assume, oh, well, we're building a Barndominium, it comes with all that. Well, no, it really depends on how you're finishing a job. Your flashing techniques, how are you dealing with the materials that you're working with? Are you using dissimilar materials like where these don't jive well together? Well, what are you doing about that? The joining of the different types of materials like the steel and the wood. You got to have these connections, all that stuff. So,
Well, and I mean, something I never really
didn't mean to go into all that.
thought about is like whenever you are doing like the metal panels, like them lining up to, if you're going to have maybe a light fixture on both sides of your door, it might hit like on a rib on one side, but not on the other, or putting
early
on,
those are some of your challenges. But
so if you've never done it before, then
let me say this, like there's actually better technology out there that allows you that to not be an issue. They have these pretty cool offset deals. I think that we bought. Somebody was posting them on Facebook, but I think Brandon's been using them to where those ribs don't get in the way. So that's pretty interesting. So
do we have any questions? No, we're good over there. I heard you guys are neighbors.
We can go up.
I don't know who that is.
We can go back up because I'm sure I missed some questions. Hello from Pennsylvania.
Why do your clients choose Barndo style or price?
Why do clients choose Barndo style or price?
Well,
what do you think?
I think like my favorite part, obviously you need your living space. So, I mean, that's just part of it. But what you can add to it, I feel like is what makes it unique and what adds kind of a flair to it. All the porches, people love the porches, like doing a wraparound porch or a back porch, front porch, whatever it is. I think that really adds some character. It adds some even more living space because you're not going to live on it, but just like having an outdoor kitchen or having more space to seat people if you like having, big groups of people at your house or whatever. But then the shop is, I think, the biggest plus if you're going to do one because it's just such a multifunctional space. So we've used ours for birthday parties. I've actually put a blow up house little thing in here for the kids and set up tables and chairs. I had a garage sale in here and I set up all my tables and had all my junk set on these tables and was able to just I didn't have to haul it out into the street, or not the street, but the driveway and all that. We've had parties, we've had events, we've had Christmas, company Christmas parties in here with like a 14-foot Christmas tree. That was super cool. So just having a space to get into, if you're having a bunch of people over and you don't necessarily have space for them in your house, you can utilize this large open area for really whatever you wanted to do.
Hey, Charlie from Nebraska.
We even set up a trampoline in here one time. It's cold outside. It's kind of cool.
We've done a lot of stuff in here. I mean, all of the signs and stuff we put up. We just went to the flea market and got all these signs, put them up there one year. But we're kind of at the point now where we're doing some remodeling on this because we want to really revamp it, make it cooler.
Because we didn't add a bathroom the first time.
Well, we did that already now, but we did add a bathroom off of our shop, which is, I recommend you do that just because when you have these events, you have these parties, especially if you're already doing plumbing, right? Like go ahead and get that stuff worked in. That's a necessity. So let me see here. Also, how did we get talking about, that was one of the questions somebody said, why do people choose?
Yeah.
I feel like there's this reconnection to the multi-generational. There's a lot of people who are saying, hey, we're going to reconvene together. I want my mom or my dad to come back to live with us. We're going to be taking care of them. I know that's what's going on here.
Yeah, my granny lives here too.
Yeah, we have Brandy's mom as well as her grandma that lives here on site, because we have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, efficiency style quarters. Pretty sizable, I think, for the space. I mean, it's like 1,500 square feet. So it's big everywhere that it counts, like your kitchen space, I think, is not bad. Bathrooms, bedrooms are really good size. Just don't have a huge living area, like,
Well, it feels big because it's a part of the kitchen.
it's not bad, but it's not huge. But
it doesn't have like vaulted ceilings because we have a second story.
Yeah.
So it feels more residential for sure.
We got 9-foot ceilings under there, and then up above there is our all of the office space.
Yeah.
But I think that multi-generational thing as well is whether we've identified it effectively in the past. I think that is a true thing as to why people build barndominiums today. There's a lot of that in there.
Yeah, we've had family Thanksgivings out here and Christmases where like my whole family and your whole family come and we have Christmas together.
Yeah, I mean, you can do those things with just a shop, but I'm just saying, like, why people build barndominiums is
a lot of them want mother-in-law quarters.
They want these things
or whatever.
And it's not just about, I mean, like during COVID, I mean, you could talk a little bit about that. Like, what did the advantages that we had because of this place,
right?
And at the time we were building for my parents, so we actually had them living in my office.
Yeah. So we had all the grandparents here. So that was actually I know it was kind of a crazy time for everybody, but when we got shut down, we got shut in with your parents, my parents, everybody was here. And so like, it was actually kind of neat because we had like family dinners because we couldn't go out.
Yeah, it ended up being kind of a special time, for our families.
I know, if you were living in an apartment during that time, I bet you went stir crazy. We didn't really ever feel that because, I mean, we have 10 acres, so you could get out, walk around. The kids go out and ride bikes. So you didn't really feel like you were enclosed as much. But I'm sure people probably felt that way. But I think that's also what drove a lot of people to want this lifestyle because they wanted to get out of town. They wanted to get out of the city and get to a place where they had some breathing room or whatever and build something, out on some property or whatever.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a big part of it. And the getting back out on the land and living free. Yeah. That's what people want to do. And a lot of people as well, it's the low maintenance, it's the efficiency, it's the flexible design. It's all these things that we've constantly hammered out for you guys. But the multi-generational options that you could have, I mean, if you could imagine on one end of the building, you could have literally one efficiency, then you could have a shop between that. Then you could have another living quarters on the other end.
Almost like a duplex or something. You're not even bumping into each other.
There's so many options.
Yeah.
So
it's just an awesome, option to have. So
we got a couple other questions coming in.
Yeah, you also might have a kid come back, maybe that moved out and then they had to come back home for some reason and give a space for them.
Let's answer a few. So how is the steel structure in a thunderstorm with lightning?
They're grounded, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, we've never had any trouble with lightning. So, but you still have your grounds and stuff like that. But I've never, here's what you got to realize is all the steel is actually buried into the concrete. So like you have attachment points, but we've never seen a problem with that ever on any of our structures either. So let's move down a little bit more. What do you think about staining concrete versus epoxy? Okay, that's a good question. Thanks, Mr. Be Happy. So staining concrete is more affordable than epoxy. Same thing with polished. People that say they want polished concrete. Well, you can't just polish concrete. Like polished concrete that you see like in the mall is a very involved process and it costs a lot of money. It would serve you better to just get some type of a upgraded flooring than it would be to do a polished concrete. Now, when you're talking about stained concrete, like something with a clear coat finish that has like the wax. That is your standard stained concrete. And it could be a color, it could just be a clear, it could be that, but it's mainly it's a more of a wax based type product. So that's what you're dealing with there. It can be buffed out. It's just something you do have to maintain it. So it's different than polished. I'll say that. Epoxy goes beyond that. It can be equally as expensive probably as some of this is going polished, but it's definitely more expensive to do an epoxy because of the materials are much more expensive. The labor is involved too because of the prep work as well as any voids and stuff like that you got to fill for those things. So that type of work is more expensive. So as far as another question about concrete, somebody says, what's your opinion on stamped concrete as a flooring option? Thanks, Jenna. I like stamped concrete. I think it looks really cool. I've seen some really cool.
Like where it looks like wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that looks really neat. I haven't ever had it myself, so I
think you should still maybe have some control joints or something like that. But, I think that could be kind of cool to do a stamped concrete. We haven't had anybody really request that. It's pretty interesting. So that's my thoughts on that. And let's see. Pancho Villa, looking forward to building one myself. Yep, I should be happy. Thanks for Courage and Colby.
How many?
And Angel McQuarrie, getting to know you and your builds. How many barndos have you built, largest and small? Well, I don't know about largest and small, but it's probably around 70 somewhere. We're getting in that range, probably. I don't know, 60 to 70, somewhere in that range when it comes to builds. So we got a lot to share. We got a lot of information that and layouts and stuff like that. Yeah. And we've got a lot that we've certainly been working on as well that are not completed. So
probably smallest is
it's a growing number, but I don't know officially.
I think like as far as living space, I think smallest is probably what, 500?
Well, we started it always starts small and then you end up adding.
Yeah, because once you kind of get it built, they're like, hey, wait, we might need a little more space.
But we had one that was going to be 900, ended up being 1600. We had one that was 500, ended up being more like 800. So
that's what happened with ours. It was supposed to just be 1500 and now we have an upstairs too.
Yeah.
Just kind of add to it. Our biggest, which one's our biggest?
Do it during the like you can't just add to it. Like upstairs has to be done during construction.
Yes. What is North Lake our biggest? Sorry, guys. I need a nap.
Which is the biggest?
Yeah. She said the largest and the smallest. So
I guess the smallest one, right. It's still got a pretty big building, but the Grayford Barndominium, I think. And from there,
the largest
I don't know. You could look at Falls Valley, you could look at North Lake, you could look at
those are like 4,000, I think.
You could look at Lucas.
Yeah, I think it was
pretty
like
big size one, but
there was
the largest one right now is the Black Gold Barndominium. That's what's coming. It's a big one with a basement and a barn. So if you guys, and we got hopefully we'll be showing you guys some more updates over there. Pretty cool deal. We got Real Link. We're going to be setting up a camera over there on that project. So that's going to be coming up. I'm excited about that.
Center, Texas.
What did Laura say?
She said Tyler.
Oh, about being what?
I don't know.
The smallest? I don't think so.
I don't know how long ago she said that because I'm trying to scroll back through. Center, Texas. Let me just see. Center. Yeah, it's Center, Texas is 3 hours away. It's 200 miles. So sorry.
Mr. B happy.
No name necessary ranch. We don't build in Center, Texas.
You're the coach. You're the coach, Mr. B happy. I'm just an encourager. I'm here to encourage people
to build barndos.
To build it right, and stay on track.
Somebody asked on Instagram, why do a weld up over a bolt up?
Why do we do it? I mean, so we do weld ups because I don't want to rely on a manufacturer to build a house. Primarily, when we have the fabricators that can do it on site. And we can get started immediately because the raw materials are available. So that's why we do it, is because it gives us the versatility, the flexibility to go out there when we want to go to work. And it's the same materials. And some people arguably will say, you know, they might prefer one thing or the other, but if you're hiring us, it's going to be
weld up.
So
let's see here. Do you guys do the concrete floors in your barn dough? And if so, how did you finish yours? The one that we have here has actually got tile in it. We didn't finish the concrete, but we are going to do the concrete in the shop at some point.
Okay.
Are there rules around where you can actually build a barn design home? That's really going to be depending on the location. So if your city limits, they may just have some restrictions.
For those of you that might not have heard the question is, are there rules around where you can build a barndominium?
Yeah, county rules. Usually county is easy. It's going to be, city's going to be the one that ever gives you any kind of issues usually. And they just may make you do a certain size or do a stone on the outside. They may not make you do anything special, but they may just want to know that you're doing it. So it just really depends on the location where you're wanting to build. So I would definitely check into that before you buy the piece of property. Make sure they're going to let you do what you want. She said, I meant yay to Tyler.
Oh, yeah. Danae, I hope I'm saying your name right. Home stretch of building our barndo on our ranch in California.
Ooh,
Crazy.
California ranch,
most don't know what they are. That's for sure. And look, when even you're me and you're building barndominiums, people tell me that I'm not even building a barndominium. You know, there's some real knowledgeable people on Facebook that will explain to you in full detail what a barndominium is and what it isn't. And evidently, I found out the other day I'm not even building barndominiums and that I'm running them.
Yeah.
So
you're just ruining it for everybody.
I'm running it. And this guy was a builder, a somewhat so-called builder. I just shake my head sometimes, but.
Well, honestly, I mean, not everybody wants the shop, so they may just want the living space. So
no, he was saying I'm doing too much, bro. That's pretty much what he's saying. Like, because we're building too big of a house.
Oh, well.
And I'm like, it's not a barndominium unless you're saving money on your taxes, pretty much.
Right. And some people, I mean, like really, some people are kind of maybe coming to a compromise where maybe the husband really wants a barndo and the wife's like, I don't want to live in a metal building. Like, it's ugly or something, you know, it's plain. Like, but then you can do
Who would say that? Who would ever even say that?
I'm just saying, but you can change it up so much. You can add the porches and the overhangs, and you can put stone on them. You can do so much with them that, you know, a lot of ladies, they're on board with it. I mean, hey, I don't mind it. I like having a shop whenever I want to have my parties. I like having it. You don't like me putting my stuff in here, but I like getting to use it on my tables and chairs that he don't like.
I think it's just the aftermath of having all that because I just,
you have to have a place to put it.
As long as I'm not asked to get tables down from wherever storage.
I don't ask you for nothing. I got big boys for that.
As long as it's not have to be me, then you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we used to have life groups in here. It's kind of cool.
We've done all kinds of things. And that's what it's about, the flexibility that it gives you. Jenna says, how loud are the metal roofs? We, when it's raining in this shop, we've only got like a 1 inch of closed sill.
It's loud in the shop.
And it's pretty noisy. You could definitely, it's like this.
It actually sounds louder.
This pretty noisy reverberation going on in here. But when you go to our living quarters where we've got like these 6-inch walls of insulation and spray foam
and sheetrock, and
you don't hear it like that. I mean, you can hear it because you got your windows and stuff that are getting wet, but you don't hear it like that. Like it's no different than in a conventional home for us. So,
are y'all going to start building some post frame style?
Okay, thanks for the question, Dan. So, and they said that they seen us on some other post frame YouTube videos. So yes, the question is, are we going to offer some of these other styles? And we are absolutely in the works on that, of being able to offer some other options.
Trying to figure out price differences and things that we would have to do a little differently.
Does that mean we're switching over to all wood construction? It definitely would not mean that, because we've got plenty of demand in that market. Yeah. All it is about diversifying and trying
and giving options,
and also being able to say, hey, if we got crippled over here in this area, we could still operate in this area. And I think it's important that
diversify.
We know how to be strong in multiple areas.
Yeah.
So we are absolutely in the works on that, and being able to potentially offer some concepts in that. Like we'll have some pre-done plans and things like that. I think that we'll probably end up beginning with, and and doing. So you look to us in the future for some of that, because that is going to be some exciting things.
Got a couple.
Let's see.
A couple questions there, and a few on there.
Where I got here?
Somebody asked about
spray foam the way to go for insulation? Jenna, you are just killing it with the questions tonight. Spray foam has been the needed necessity method for us, like, because I can spray with closed cell foam direct to our metal, which allows us to kind of put this liner around it, helping to prevent condensation. So that's some of the advantages of the closed cell. I would not use open cell direct to metal. I would not ever recommend. I would never recommend that, because that's so open that all of the heat is traveling through that and can cause a reaction between maybe the cooler temperature on the outside with the inside, where you're going to have enough climate difference to see some condensation, which could eventually be a mold issue. So we recommend you use closed cell foam direct to metal. Hopefully that helps explain that a little bit. Don't just think that spray foam is the flashing methods you need either. Like, spray foam is not to be used, in my opinion, for flashing. It's there for sealing. It's there for reaffirming an area.
It's great for
and filling a void,
filling the gap,
to help create an insulating barrier there, to where you don't have a void there, where you're allowing this space for air to accumulate and be changed. So that's the benefit of it. You're taking up the space with insulation, so nothing else can kind of come in and out of that spot. But also for your roof areas, now we spray that with closed cell, and then we spray it with open cell. So hopefully that helps. Mr. Be Happy chimed in. I think this is in referring to why we like to do the weld ups for our why we like to do our weld ups on on our Barndominiums as opposed to doing
the
bolt ups, because he said there's no tapered beams, and that's right. Like, when you look through this Barndominium here, it's all 12-inch consistent I-beams. We don't have the tapered, and a lot of times on an engineered building, they are not taking into consideration what else is being attached to it. For me, it doesn't really get the job done with an engineered building because they're not considering where I'm tying the wood to it. They're not considering where I'm using my zip sheathing. They're not considering where I'm going to use my sleeper studs. Not considering anything about the way that I build other than their metal.
Yeah, they're just
and so they want you to add all these things to it to create this one system, but they're not going to adapt to anything when it comes to it being a residential living spot. It's just a commercial building to them when it comes to an engineer for these bolt ups.
And you have to pretty much adapt your plans to whatever configuration that they've come up with. Whereas,
and that's, I'm not all about that life when it comes to adapting to somebody else's stuff.
Yeah. He wants to do what he wants to do.
We want to do.
I mean, if we're doing like an odd, say a 33 by 42, I don't know. I don't know what you would do, but I mean, it's just, you're not fitting into their perfect little.
Here's what I suggest. If you're like me, and you're saying, okay, I want to build this and I'm accomplishing this, and then, you're needing that engineer, then find an engineer that's going to work with you. Don't go through the metal building company and ask them to find an engineer, because they're going to do things that are favorable to the metal building company. You find an engineer that will work reasonably with you, especially if it's something you're routinely doing. Like, that's what we've done. Like, I am not just going to subject myself to somebody who doesn't know anything about what I'm building anyways. They don't really care. They're just trying to sell me materials.
Yeah. Somebody asked a question earlier.
I missed a question?
Yeah, at the top. There's a couple actually.
Where?
Right there. You already passed it.
Right here?
Oh, well, you can get that one too.
Here?
Yeah.
Any funding setbacks when getting a mortgage?
No.
I guess we could have been sharing the questions on here.
No, there's not. Not in our area. I mean, other states, somebody.
We don't have any problems with
California.
That in our area, but we don't have any problems with that in our area. Now, there are certainly probably issues in certain areas that are not familiar with what you're building. All the more reason why we recommend you find somebody who's building locally what you want to build. If there's not somebody building locally what you want to build,
then move to Texas. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like everybody else is doing, move here.
Get on the wagon.
But I mean, it could be an impairment to what you're trying to accomplish. Let's be honest. Now, are there ways around it? I think there are. There are people out there who are trying to walk you through this step by step. I will say this, potentially we are going to have some options where there will be some, as folks buy our plans, there are going to be some options where there may be some consultation sessions available with Brandy. No, potentially,
they don't want to talk to me.
This is something that we are discussing that we may be able to help people a little bit further than what we have as time permits. But right now, I would suggest you try to find somebody that's building.
Alfredo.
On the edge of the roof, how do some people use a C-purlin instead of an eave strut? Okay, this is a good question.
Not one I can answer, but.
So an eave strut is actually got a bigger base underneath it. And if you understand what this is for, it's mainly to carry the structure. It's the weight. And you're trying to add a little bit more structure for the eave strut at the top. Well, if you understand like how we build, we've got a 2x6 studded wall that sits under there. So we're able to use something smaller there. I don't have to have necessarily an eave strut as opposed to my saying using a C purlin or a Z purlin, but mostly on those, we use a C purlin in a lot of those locations as well. Because our frame actually is getting extended even farther because I'm doing an overhang. So we've got quite a bit there, but that's really the reason for us. And sometimes you're really restricted. I'm sure Mr. Be Happy can confirm that. You're really restricted on pitch. And, you know, you can use an eave strut, but you got to get it special ordered depending on your pitch. And you could also get thicker gauge purlins if you really needed it. Hopefully that helps answer your question.
Jean Bland.
You know you're doing something good when you have haters. That's right. You need some haters. Get out there and get on YouTube and get you some haters.
Oh, yeah.
Where are we at here?
They done called me chubby, so.
Sure. Brandy's offended.
I know. It's okay. I am chubby.
On the edge of the roof.
Hey, guys, what's the cost difference between heated floors and or a furnace?
So the question is, what's the cost difference on heated floors and or a furnace? We don't do heated floors, so like I can't tell you even where to begin on that.
And a furnace is, I mean, we do HVAC.
We don't recommend furnaces in our houses either because we're building for air tightness. So we steer away from furnaces or anything that won't have a direct vent above it when it comes to gas or propane, because I know that's the next question from Angel. Opinions on propane water heaters, tank versus tankless. So if it's outside, a tankless water heater will have a vent that goes direct to outside. You don't have to worry about that. But again, because we're building an envelope that is for air tightness, we're not wanting to introduce these other types of gases and stuff like that in the home. Now, where you have a kitchen, your vent hood is right there above there. Absolutely. If you're going to be cooking with a cooktop, I tell people, hey, it's fine. You can do that. Just make sure you use your vent hood because otherwise you're going to be getting any off gassing from your cooker. So, or if you're like in our house, we don't really use our cooktop much.
I used it last night.
Just kidding.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, she did. She was cooking last night, telling you.
I mean, I cooked and I baked.
Yeah, you were just like a housewife yesterday.
Brandy homemaker.
Doing laundry and cooking dinner.
And cleaning.
I couldn't believe it, guys. It's like, no. It was good. Let's see. Hopefully that helps. Did I answer the questions on the tankless? Yeah. So opinions on propane water heaters versus tankless. My opinion is to not bring these types of things inside under that envelope. So that goes for heat furnaces, air conditioning units. I recommend a heat pump because we're building for air tightness. We can actually downsize the sizing of the demand for your HVAC system. Although we do encourage you to go up on efficiency like variable stage unit, as well as maybe an ERV system where you can bring in fresh air and as well as expel stale air. So it's all about, the efficiency of the climate, the air, not just the climate. Sorry, said that wrong. Peyton. Okay, we're going to single this out because, I had to argue with our video guy about posting that video yesterday.
You thought it was
so
boring.
Peyton says, loved watching the recent video with the skid steer getting stuck. And he says, put a winch on that truck. I got to agree. I mean, having a winch is good. Brandon definitely wants a winch on the truck. I'm just more like thinking like, let's not get stuck next time. So that's really the way I try to focus. But, we appreciate you watching that.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the process for pulling permits between the different counties? For example, Hood versus Johnson. Any recent issues with municipalities in regard to post inspection or post inspections? I can talk a little bit about it. I know that when we worked in Johnson County, which I believe is over in that Fort Worth area, we've had some little things that, like being in the ETJ or whatever, it's created some spurs in your saddle a little bit. One being, one was like our electric company required a special meter. We had to go through some hoops to get over there, which was really probably just had to do with the whoever the electric company service was through. But there was some permitting stuff that I think got skipped, which here's how this works. Like, our clients normally have to be involved to do a developmental permit early on. And when it comes time to put your septic system in, it's going to raise some flags to the county, lets them know, hey, you didn't pull a permit, so you got to go back and deal with that. So we've had a couple of instances like that where that's happened. One, I don't know, where's the job we did in Cleburne over there? There was some permitting we did over there, remember?
What county is it in?
Well, I don't know the county, but I'm just saying there was some permitting things over there that came up.
Yeah.
I wasn't directly involved in it, but I know that
Crystal knows, not me. I don't really know what all was a part of the. I don't do the permits.
she's just cooking and cleaning and doing laundry these days. No, I'm just kidding. We'd have to find out. Like, we have a team that actually worked with us, so we don't know all the answers, guys.
Yeah.
Just letting y'all know.
It's Johnson County.
That was Johnson. So Cleburne has some spots where you're working in the city. We got one job right now that's in the city. We're getting ready to pour concrete on our Cleburne job, as well as the Van, Texas job. Those, we're going to be pouring concrete coming up. This is something Brandon's been scheduling.
What else you got?
Putting a culvert on an easement, Peyton. Yeah, sometimes that can be something you got to get a special permit for, to put in a culvert. They want to know that mainly they're going to ensure that you put the right size for the drainage depending on where it's at. Do we service Centerville, Texas? Jarrell says.
I think
Thank you for watching all the videos. That's definitely going to make a difference whether we'll come to your area or not.
What, if you watch our videos?
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Centerville. Let me tell you how far that is.
We did have a project we were looking at doing there, and we were kind of geared up to go to Centerville. Just letting you know, it's going to be a job by job basis.
We could do a shell.
We could do a shell only for sure, but I was actually going to do a turnkey there for this client there, but we're not currently on the schedule to do that.
Okay, I've got somebody on Instagram says, has YouTube helped your business? What is some advice on starting a channel about your business? Absolutely. I feel like YouTube is what has really...
has it helped us or hurt us?
Yes. No, it's been a huge thing for us. That's not what we intended when you started out doing videos, but it has been a huge blessing because it's basically been free advertising. We don't have an advertising budget as far as having to pay, used to the kind of work that we got, you had to spend money to make money. You had to put, a ton of direct mail, different, papers in people's hands. And we haven't had to do that at all. People are calling. Yeah. I mean,
and now that doesn't tell the whole story because we do spend money. We actually spend it on our team and the people who are helping us. But, you do have to spend some money involved to do it to the degree that we're doing it.
Websites,
but
all that kind of stuff.
You could absolutely do it without money. There's a lot of people that do that. So for us, for everything that I'm doing,
I think
it takes help. Like I I have been involved. I'm still involved in the process in doing even sometimes doing
we got to have the people to
some
help
little
us.
edits here and there, but we do need the help.
Yeah, for sure. But I think one thing that I feel like is a big benefit from just having the YouTube channel is it, when you go, say, meet with a new customer, I mean, they already feel like they know you. They can see the work that we've done. Like they can go back and look. You can refer, all kinds of videos to people. I feel like it answers a lot of questions, repeat questions. Like even when people say, "Hey, what do I need to look for when I'm buying land?" There's a video for that. So you can send them the link.
Early on, I know you used to use that on the routine. Like you'd be like, "Well, I'm going to send you a video about that."
Right.
And we did that a little bit more often as people would call in because you're trying to save your voice. I mean, you are repeating a lot of the same information, but obviously if you didn't have the social efforts, you wouldn't have to be answering those questions. Like if you don't want any business, then don't do YouTube. I mean, let me say this about YouTube. I mean, I guess we got kind of involved early on in some of the trend here for building barndominiums. And so some of this stuff, it's like it was kind of easy come whenever we started doing it. It's a lot harder now to make the numbers turn when it comes to YouTube. Now you got to just look at it like, okay, where's the values here and why are we doing this and what are we trying to communicate? And so now that's more what it's become for us. This is a platform for us to communicate so that we can get our message across. Like the things that you see in us putting out there, there's a reason behind the stuff that we do put out, and we're kind of generally focused on what we're doing. I like the video we posted yesterday on YouTube was more. It's kind of like, oh, we're just doing some work here. And normally like Brandon wouldn't even have been on that job because he's busy everywhere day to day. And I don't even see Brandon that much on some of these jobs anymore. He just happened to be out there with me because there was a delay on the other job that he was going to be at. And so he came by to kind of help me out. And then next thing you know, everything unfolded. It's like me and Brandon back in 5 years ago where everything went wrong every time we got together. And that's kind of what it felt like that day. So that's why we try not to hang out because
you're a bad combo.
It's bad news bears. And we didn't even share all the details of what ended up happening later.
No, because now the skid steer's in the shop.
Yeah. Yeah,
tearing stuff up.
It's bad. So more to come when it comes to content. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in with us here and being attentive as well as asking us questions. It's what we do this for. And what else?
Let's see here. Do we video document every one of our builds or just certain ones? We try to do every one. That's the intention it's kind of our final.
I will say right now we've got a couple builds going that have never been promoted, have not been on the channel.
Right.
And that's my fault. It's really nothing to do with the builds. They're awesome builds. They're going to be awesome for our tour video because we are going to do a tour video.
Yeah, we try to do a tour video at least on every one, but now that's actually not happened on a couple too for different reasons.
We've had several that we didn't do a tour. So
but that's the
sometimes it happens, but it's definitely supposed to happen.
Right.
But
there's times that there are
inconveniences
of it where maybe a customer's already got moving stuff their stuff's already scheduled and they get there before we can do anything.
There's been some occasions where it wasn't as important to them as it was us. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Yeah. But we are proud of the work that we do. We always do the best that we can to document it. And we want to show you guys for ideas and
We had a lot of customers that when they see them, I think even one of our other customers said, "Hey, I saw that one video. Those countertops were beautiful. What was that? I want those countertops. What was that?" And so I think it's great. I think it's for people that we can't get to, physically to build for. I think it's just, for informational purposes, inspirational purposes. It's just to give you guys a visual, because a lot of people, you see a set of plans, they're on the paper. It's really hard to visualize how big something's going to be or what it's going to feel like to walk through it. And so that's why we do those, so that we can go back and revisit those without having to inconvenience our customers.
Yeah.
And now that we have plans available for most of those builds, then you can see what it would be like, if you built that plan.
Right.
So.
And I'll say this, when it comes to us documenting, we really, what we've learned about it is like, we really want to dig in on certain projects so we can share more details, especially when there's things that are going to be different. Like the black gold Barndominium, which is, not only is it a huge barn door, but it's got a basement. It's got a unique style barn that's really going to be very detailed in the end. And we've got a lot of big things that's going to be coming up on that build. But when we're doing something a little bit different, we're going to try to show you guys.
Yeah, because you can only do so many concrete videos, honestly. Like some of these ladies may be like, okay, I don't want to watch this. I'll watch somebody mow their yard, pour some concrete. It's kind of repetitive. So like this video is going to look a lot like the next one whenever you're just pouring the concrete.
So we will try to get back around and do another concrete video so you guys can see what that's about. But yeah, we don't try to document every concrete pour for those reasons, because it's like, oh, another concrete pour. Well, this is the same as it was last time. Well,
it's exciting for us, but it's not
always the same. But a lot of times we will not just do that. We'll try to share the plans, show the layout, some of these things as we share some of that information. What is the price for a set of plans? Thank you. You can find out if you go to bestbarndoplans.com. We've got some of these pre-designed plans, some of them a little bit more than the others, depending on what is all involved and the size of the projects. But they're all pretty close in range. I think anywhere from, I want to say anywhere from like $900 to $1,500. But you can check it out. A lot of your favorite designs are already on there.
So since we're talking about that, just nobody's asked, but if you're looking for pricing for those builds, we have a Barndo cost calculator. If you're looking at those plans, you say, I wonder how much it's going to cost. You can plug in the information that's on the plans and get basically a quick quote as to if we were going to build it for you, what it would cost in today's pricing. So that's a real helpful, handy calculator to get some information with too.
Right.
Do the prints have plumbing specs? So they will. You're not going to necessarily be able to see it on the website, but whenever you purchase the plans, they'll send you all the electrical, the plumbing, all that'll be on there.
Right. Yeah. So we've got an elevation plan. We got a floor plan, that, as well as like a plumbing offset plan, shows some of that stuff. We got a roof plan. Those are some of the things that are included.
Framing things. And there's another question there you want to get to.
What's the question?
Let me answer this one real quick because it's a fast one.
Okay.
This one says, do you ever furnish them or stage the house before? So every house we build is for an individual. Somebody is funding that project. It's their home. They're moving in as soon as we do a tour video and get out of town. So we don't furnish them because our customers are going to furnish them. So we're not going to bring stuff in there. We're not trying to sell the property. If we were, building a bunch of them and we're going to list them for sale, then yeah, we would probably have to stage them for pictures or whatever, but we do not furnish or stage our houses before because they're not our houses. There are customers and they're going to move their stuff
Yeah.
in. So
It's better for us to just get out of the way at that point. Now, if clients are interested, they can contact us later, and we'd love to come back and see.
yeah, we'd
their
love
project.
to walk through some that are furnished and that are set up. The only thing is being that it's going to go on
Well,
YouTube. You're not going to want your personal like pictures of your kids. They may not want their kids.
We've certainly had people that
shown or-
are willing to let us come. Some of that we haven't really taken them up on it yet,
Yeah, we need to.
and we would like to. We just
Because I know it's like real echoey sometimes whenever you're doing the tour videos. And then once they get rugs and furniture and all that in there, that obviously dies down. So I would definitely like to go through a few of them, but
let's catch a couple more questions here. Somebody
Yeah,
says, do basements add a lot of cost to foundations? We plan to build a stone throws away from Texas, largest recorded tornado touchdown site. Kids want a basement. Not sure about pricing. They're absolutely more money. And I couldn't even tell you a per square footage price. It really just depends. But basements are definitely a lot more money. Somebody on TikTok says, what's the price per square foot going for where y'all live? Well, let me ask, where do you live first? But price per square foot, we just kind of talked about that, but we had to reset here on TikTok. So we got quite a few more people over here.
South Carolina.
Pricing right now is in the $175 to $200 a square foot range.
On the living.
On living. It could be
260 there.
Yeah, so that's kind of a general idea. Now, what that includes, what's different, I always have to preface that with what that includes with us.
Yeah, you got to make sure you're comparing apples
It's
to apples.
turnkey, 2x6 walls on the exterior.
Spray foam insulation.
We got our WRB wrapped sheathing on the exterior walls. So we're not
a septic system.
Yeah, everything turnkey. Only thing that ours does not include is a utility connection, or the utilities coming from wherever it's coming from to the house, as well as the electrical. So you got your water, electrical, some of these things, your meter fees, any kind of impact fees with the city or municipalities, your landscaping, your appliances on the interior. Those are the things that are not included.
Or driveways, because there's no way for us to know how far you're going to set your house off the road.
Or roads. When it comes to building roads, these are things that we price a lot of times once we get out to the project to meet with the clients, to do site meetings, all these kind of things that we establish some of that stuff as early as we can.
And we can definitely include any of that in the loan. We can get it included into your construction loan. It's just not something that's included in our base price per square foot.
Right. So that's somewhat to know about pricing when it comes to the Barndominiums. What do people love about Barndominiums? They love the open spans. They love the flexible designs.
High ceilings.
All
great electric bills.
Yeah. Great place to store Christmas trees. What else? A lot of tables and chairs. You can have
a lot of porch space, so you can have it in the front and the back, and so you can sit on the back, watch the sun set, watch the sunrise on the front
or
porch.
Watch the eclipse. A lot of people build Barndominiums just to watch eclipse.
Yes,
in Texas.
Absolutely, that's what we built one for. However many years ago.
No, I mean, these are some of the reasons. I think the energy efficiency, a lot of these things are a huge thing to building a Barndominium. And I don't know where he's at, where Justin is.
I think South Carolina.
South Carolina is $160 a square foot. Might be a better place to move.
Oh.
South Carolina. Get it more money for your buck. Who knew that?
Money for your buck.
More buck for your money?
No.
How do you say it?
I don't know. You're saying it all wrong, though. More bang for your buck.
There you go. More bang for your buck. Again, I am a creative person.
Yeah, he makes up his own words to
Make up words.
Yeah.
This is what I do. I'm good at that.
Well,
anyways,
I think we got all of our questions.
guys, we really appreciate you guys joining us tonight.
I guess I'll go feed my
haven't
kids.
already hit the like button, please do that now.
Please
show
like
some
us.
love.
I'm just kidding.
Help us to do something. I don't know what I was going to say. Anyways, we'll be back. We'll be back with you guys next week sometime. We don't know that it'll be on Tuesday.
Tuesday we got a baseball game.
Tell them what we're going on. This is crazy. My son won district in 3 events, right? Or
Yes.
at least got second on one district on 2 events, and then got second on another event. Qualified to go to area, then
So we
went to area, and he qualified to go to regionals in every event.
In all 3 events. So that's what we're doing Thursday and Friday. We got a little runner.
Yeah, he's in track, so in 4A track. So you guys can follow him on Mile Split if you want.
Yeah, he's got
And we're just excited. We're just trying to encourage him. Well, he's 16. He's going to be running in Denton, Texas, right?
He's running the 3,200, the 800, and the 1,600.
The mile.
Yeah. So, and then
the other day he did them all in one day.
Yeah, I don't know how I did that. I don't even know how. That's why I got third.
He obviously gets his physique as well as his athletic abilities from me. Mm-hmm. So,
and then our youngest Justice is going to be playing baseball. He's got 2 games this week, so he's on Wednesday night and Friday night. Jaden is on Friday and Saturday, so we've got
And this past weekend we were at NASCAR. Thanks to one of our brand partners.
That was super cool experience.
Cooper and Hunter. So we want to say thank you to Cooper and Hunter for always keeping us cool. They're keeping us cool right now here in the shop.
Yep, feels great.
Been a great brand partner for us, as well as providing great products for all of our homes when we get a chance to use them for our multi-zone systems. And we've got some things coming up on that, which is going to enlighten and be able to offer something a little bit differently that I think people are going to really like as well with that. So a lot going on. So we're going to try to.
Thanks, Laura.
Justin says, loves y'all's content. Keep up the great work. And the wife looking to build soon. Thank you, Justin. Let us know if we can help, if you're in our area. So it's a blessing to be with y'all tonight. Appreciate y'all joining in.
Hanging out with us.
Yep. I'm Josh Helm.
I'm Brandy Helm.
We're wishing you all the best, and thanks for watching.
Texas Best.
All right. We out.